Hello everyone, Emily here. I am working on beads. I bought these beads today at Michael's and they are glass beads. They're round, they kind of look like wood and they're very pretty and I just love the way they feel. So I am just new getting into doing beading. I've been watching YouTube videos of people doing wrapping. Back to Earth Creation. She is so wonderful. So, well, I've been getting over my poison oak for the last month. I decided that I was going to do some beading. So I did go to Michael's today. I got these beads for 40% off. Woohoo! And I got this wire at Walmart. It's very soft. It was 89 cents for just a roll. So I got the beads for $4, 89 cents for the wire, and I think that's a great buy for me to sit here and enjoy myself for a little bit. Now, these beads did have the holes that went all the way through. I did decide I was just going to wrap it a little bit different. And I'm kind of just doing my own thing because I'm just having fun. So you can see when I want to make it tight, I just grab a hold of it and wiggle it a little bit, and it does tighten that wire up. So that is 8mm wire, and at Walmart for 89 cents, you just can't beat it. So I'm just going to make me some little curly cues on here, which are one of my most favorite things to do. I just wrap it around and I put my finger on it and just keep wrapping that wire. And you can see here, if I want to make it tight, I put my finger on there and I just wiggle it. You move it back and forth, it will make it tight. Just keep your finger on there so that the wire goes on the outside of the last one to make a pretty curly cue. Like I said, I'm still learning, and I find the curly cues to be one of the easiest things to do. I'm not going to lie and say this is my first time because I've been trying to do beads for the last month and a half, 2 months. So I have these little needle nose pliers. I did get them at Walmart. Oh my gosh, I probably had them for 10 years. And I'm not gonna um, I'm not gonna dig it into the wire because the wire moves really easy. I'm just using it to guide the wire because I really don't want to get any gouges in it. And I am going to make the loop on top, and I think I am going to use a leather necklace to put this on. And I did order some from Amazon, so I hope they come soon so I can put them on these pendants, and they will be very, very pretty. So I'm going to try to stay in frame. I'm sorry if I go out. I'm trying to stay close so that you can see what I'm doing. I am going to use my crochet hook to measure, and I'm going to wrap it around twice. And this is where my leather necklace is going to go through. I don't have it here to measure it to make sure that it's going to go through. So I'm just going to hope that it's going to be big enough. Now I'm going to leave my crochet hook in there, and I'm going to wrap around with my wire a few times. And this wire is really forgiving, so if you make a mistake, you can just run your fingers over it to make it nice and smooth so that you can redo it. Like I said, I'm watching Yvonne with Back to Earth Creations. I went back and watched her back 5 years, so I feel like I've been learning a lot from her. She is so sweet. So you can see that when I'm wrapping it, I'm kind of wiggling a little bit of and that does tighten it up. But you don't want to pull it too tight because you don't want to snap it. You could use a pen. You could use anything depending on how big you want that opening to be. I did wrap it around twice, the crochet hook, because I wanted to double it up. Now this wire is really nice and soft, So it does move really easy, which I find really nice for me because I don't want to use that really hard wire, and I do have some of that I'll be working with. But this 89 cents for just a little bit of wire at Walmart, I really like it. And when I go, they're like almost always completely sold out. And they have different colors, but this time I went, they really didn't have very many colors. So I wiggled it again just to get it a little tight. Not trying to manhandle it too much. And when you get the really stiff wire, and I wish I could tell you more about the wires, um, it stays in place a lot better. Like it doesn't move around as much as this does when you're working. So you can see there when I'm pulling on it, it's really easy to make that circle smaller. I'm going to stick my finger on there and go around the outside. I'm telling you, it took me a while to learn how to do this. And mine aren't completely perfect, but I don't care because I don't want them to be completely perfect. And now I'm just going to turn it backwards and I'm going to make another curlicue going the other way. And so I like to put my finger on top. You can see I wiggled and made that center loop. It's going to be nice and small now. I can just start going around it. And this is very relaxing to me. And I find it very therapeutic. And I think I could do this all day. But unfortunately, I only have 4 of these beads. So I'm going to share that with you. I'm going to share my therapy with you today. It's just so relaxing, and I crochet because I like to create and make things, and this is something new for me, this beading, and it does make me feel good to create something. And when they come out really nice, I have some really hideous pieces that I've done when I first started. I didn't do any videos of those because they were so bad, but that's okay. It's a learning process. And sometimes some of the stuff I have I think is absolutely beautiful because I like a lot of color and gaudy, and I'm sure other people don't think it's very pretty. To each their own. So I'm just making curlicues, and it's really important that that your end piece isn't poking anybody. So I'm just going to wrap it around where my my leather is going to go through. I'm going to turn the end piece in, and I'm just going to push it in. I'm just going to bury it in there. And I don't want to push too hard, of course, because I don't want to ding my wire. So I'm just going to push it in there. And I don't feel anything, so it's really pretty. I really like that. I'm going to press it all down. And when you have that really soft wire, I do have a hammer where I could lay it down and maybe pat on a little bit to harden it up. But it is really pretty. I'm really happy with how that turned out. And I didn't even use the holes. I can see the holes on each side, but I didn't even use the holes that were there. So I'm just going to push down on it a little bit, make them a little bit harder. But looky there. Didn't take me any time at all, and I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I bought some of this glue today. I've never used it before. I always use the 3mm, and some little places that want to come up, I don't want them to snag on someone's clothing. So I just put a little tiny dab on there. I'm going to hold it down. Now, I think that I'm going to go back to the 3000 glue because it's like instant. The minute you put it on there and you do something, it's going to hold it forever. This glue I found takes a little bit longer to dry, so I found myself having to sit here and blow on it for a little bit until it dried. It seems to be drying clear and nice, so if you don't mind that, then that's fine, but this I just felt like I had to hold it down. So I am going to make sure that I buy my 3000, I think that's what it's called, glue. Now, this is the wire I got at Walmart. And you know, I feel like there's quite a bit on here. So I'm going to start my second bead. I like to not cut my wire and put my bead on the wire as it's still connected, so I can figure out what I'm going to do. I don't have no design in mind when I first start. So that way I'm not wasting my wire, because I only buy a little bit at a time, and so I don't have much to waste. And I don't like the way that looks when you pull it all the way through. So I'm going to pull it through the middle, and I'm not yanking. I'm trying to do it really nice and softly. So once I get it going, there we go. It's kind of a little crinkly on that end. So you can see, I'm just going to try something new. And this does wind up really quickly, nicely. I like the way it looks. And this is going to be where I'm going to put my leather loop through. So I'm just going to see how big I want it. And like I said, this wire is really forgiving, so you can always take stuff apart if you don't do it right the first time. And I really like that about this wire. And you know, I don't even think there's really a brand name. I think it's just the Walmart brand. So you can just see me. I'm not going to explain every single thing I do, so if you just want to watch, because I just make it up as I go along. I do like to wrap it around the bottom there at least 3 or 4 times to keep it nice and sturdy. You can see I'm just, pulling it a little bit tight. I'm not strangling it to death because it will break, and we don't want that. And then, of course, we always want to take that end and turn it in a little bit so that it doesn't poke anybody. And my tools are really small. They're that beginner's kit from Walmart. Like I said, I've probably had them for, gosh, 10 years. Longer than that, I bet. So anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and make my curly cues again, since I feel like I'm very comfortable doing those and I like them. My little curly cue. And I'm sure this would be harder to do with a big, huge thing of wire. But since it's so small, it's not that bad. Not that bad at all. I did make some rings with this curly cue, and they came out really super cute. and I'm really having fun. I'm really enjoying this. I am really having fun because I can just decide where I want to cut it, how many curlicues. It's just my own design, and it makes me happy. And my daughter thinks they're cute. My friends seem to like them. These would make great Christmas gifts, and I'm enjoying the therapy that it's giving me. My cats, I have 8. They actually hate my beads, and they're not very happy that my beads are getting so much attention. So they are the only ones in the house who hate these things. It's quite funny. So you can see I'm just making my curlicues. My hole is down here, and I do want to take my wire back through there just so I have curlicues down on one side, because I don't want to cover my whole bead up with curlicues because I still want you to be able to see how beautiful the bead is. It's just an absolute beautiful bead. Now Michael's was having the sale 60% off on all the beads, and I got 4 of them in one packet. They were $10, no, $6.99 maybe, and I got it for 40% off. You know, yeah. So I got a really good price. So I got to make 4 of these. Maybe they were $9.99. Oh, you know, I can't remember. Me and my brain sometimes. But Michael's does have some really nice beads, and when they have a sale, they have a sale. My granddaughter went. Well, I went with her and my daughter, and my granddaughter, it was buy 3, get 3 for free. And so that was an awful good buy. So she was such a sweetheart. She's like, Grandma, you can go ahead and get one. So I did get one for myself. She's such a sweet granddaughter. So you can see here that I'm just making these curlicues like crazy. Sorry, I'm out of frame. I'm just trying to get the end of that right where I want it. And then I'm going to make sure I always like to curl up the ends so that you don't have any risk of poking yourself or getting it snagged on a scarf or a sweater, and then you're just going to get it all whacked out of shape, and you don't want that. Now, I usually don't use glue on my beads. I did start using it with that 3mm because you did not see it, and it just made it stick immediately, and it was a really nice way to keep everything so it didn't move around at all. So if I feel someplace that's a little loose or I want to lift something up, I really like this sharp little fine end that I can just put it there and put a itty bitty drop, not hardly anything at all. But I am finding that I'm needing to hold it until it dries. And there we go. It's so pretty. So now I have a new one. So let me see what I am going to do with this one. I am just going to let you watch me. So thank you for watching, and please watch to the end, because at the end I'm going to show you all the other ones that I made. Here's some beads that I did before I started the round ones. These were just flat ones, and they did have a hole on the top and the bottom, and they came out beautiful. Really love them. They're kind of blue on the outside and brown in the middle. Here are the ones, the round ones I was working on that I was showing you, and I just wanted you to see how they came out. The finished project are absolutely beautiful. Appreciate you joining me today. Have a great day, and I will be back soon. Bye.